Hello everyone, my name is Evelina and I'm your Celestial Catalyst. So today we'll be doing a reading on the energy coming in and around June. There are 4 piles to choose from and I will be providing a close-up of each of the crystals in case you want to take a better look. Once you've chosen the pile or the piles, there are timestamps below in the description and also the names of the decks that I used in case you're wondering what they are. So please be mindful these are general readings, so whatever doesn't apply, just simply let it fly. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get started. Alright guys, so pile 1 is this rondite. Pile 2 is fluorite. Pile 3 is spirit quartz. And pile 4 is apophyllite. Hello, pile 1. If you are the one that picked the rondite, you're in the right place. So let's get started. I'll put that there. All right. Let's see what kind of energy is coming to you in the month of June. Okay, so we have storms, blossoming, the flower moon. It just passed. It was on May the 16th, so maybe things started happening during this time, but let's continue on. Resolution, okay. Sigil 66, okay. Comforting, okay. Got the turtle. Interesting, okay. Then we have the Hermit, the Two of Earth, and the Page of Air. Okay. All right, pile 1. Okay, so let me start off by saying this stone is the rondite. And it's the stone of compassion, emotional balancer, assisting in clearing away worries. And it stimulates the heart chakra with unconditional love. I feel like there's definitely some correlation with this stone and this reading, most definitely. Okay, so storms are about, it says here, cleansing. So it's something is clearing, something is reset. You may have been dreaming about storms. Storms happen because 2 polar energies are coming together, clashing, and creating this powerful effect. They're bringing a result of change, and it's almost like to create a clean slate, to like neutralize the energy. And one of my favorite sayings is, be the calm in the storm. So I feel like there needs to be this I almost want to sit and take a breath and meditate and just close my eyes and just reset my energy. And just breathe. That's something I really want to say is remember to breathe. With whatever's happening, whatever needs to be reset, whatever needs to be cleared out, started with this blossoming, with this flower moon. That there was that change that started happening during the full moon eclipse, that blood moon that happened on May 16th. There's this need to rise and claim your victory. It's not the time to mind what other people say. This is about you having that fresh start, that refresh, that, and make it more about you and not what other people think. Like, look at this garden. Look at this. After the rain, after the storm, there's calm, and there's blooming, there's developing, there's growing into something more beautiful. You're coming out of it with deeper and better roots. And, you know, it's really interesting, especially with the turtle energy here. The turtle energy talks about strong reconnection with, or strong connection with earth and water signs. So I don't know if those are elements that you really resonate with. Maybe there's a lot of water, earth energy in your chart. Perhaps your surroundings, people around you have a lot of water and earth energy in your chart. This is all about building your life experience. You have this ability to tell stories, or you're like a writer, whether it's professional or for fun, I'm not sure, but there's a way to how you speak to people, how you tell your story to people that leaves them in awe, or your voice is very, very kind, very nurturing, and it's not like a monotone. There's a lot of ups, there's a lot of downs. It engages people, especially with the context of your story. There's something very moving about it. It could be something you're writing, or this could be your personal experience, but it's very, like, it's very engaging, I feel. I feel like all your wisdom is in your soul. People can tell that when you speak, it's almost like, how did they have so much experience in such a short time? Maybe you're younger, maybe, you know, but you have an old soul, where it's just like you're developed a little too quickly. You know what I mean? Like, you would be going through things that people would be expected to go through, like in their late 40s or something like that. Like, there was just a lot of things that happened that made you into who you are, and it gives you that ability to pass on knowledge that people wouldn't think that you would have. You know what I mean? And I feel like all this experience, especially this experience, it's another page in your book. And there's this lesson with the turtle of feeling at home with yourself and coming to terms with what happened. Because I feel like maybe you're not acknowledging it, maybe it's just too painful to look at it, but I feel like you're growing from it. And it's almost like you're accepting it. This is part of me, this is part of who I am, and I'm going to be moving on with it. Because that's who you are. It's what makes you you, and I think that's really interesting. Because, and honestly, don't deny it. Don't deny it, because it's part of who you are, and it's what's making you grow into that person, into a person that you need to become. We've all gone through in our hard times, and I kind of feel like it makes us grow, and it makes us more knowledgeable for the future. This card here, the 66, the sigil, it's about conversion. So this could either be a warning or something to congratulate you on. It depends on how you take this transformation, whether you become at home with it or you deny it. So you need to pay attention to how you process things in your mental, spiritual state. because your actions affect your energetic personality, your physical form. We are direct reflections of what our outer state is. And the two cards on the side here, I feel, are things that we need to really focus on. So this one says, the past haunts me, as a trigger statement, truth statement. In this moment, I am free. So it's either you're triggering yourself by saying, or even this one actually, sorry, I can't go on and my heart is light. So it's comforting, consolation, and resolution. So it's, you're either living in this trigger statement, I can't go on, the past's haunting me, you're letting it hold you down, or in this moment, I'm free, my heart is light. This isn't the time to be bringing in baggage, especially to this blossoming, because I feel like it's going to be harder on you. And this is meant to make you grow into someone better, a better version of yourself. Another thing I've noticed, it's very interesting, I see a lot of orange and I see a lot of green in this reading. And green is associated with the heart chakra and orange is associated with the sacral chakra. So our emotions and our personality, our passion, our sexuality is the sacral chakra. Also associated with creativity. So there's like a need to spark, to like become passionate again, and the heart is the central of our whole system. It pumps the energy through us. And I feel like if you don't want to block that, because it will affect your whole body and you'll start feeling a little bit heavier, especially because I feel like you live through your sacral chakra quite a bit. You might be a very creative person, a very like outgoing person, maybe like a fiery sign, or you have a fiery type of energy where it's, it's just like, I'll do what I do, like just kind of go for it. You're usually a little more spontaneous. And I feel like if the energy isn't flowing within you, you hold yourself back, and that's not you. It's not you at all. So that's very interesting. I really feel with this Virgo energy, the Hermit, and it's also, I see it as a turtle as well, actually, or not, like a tortoise maybe, is you need to do a little bit of soul searching, a lot of introspection, like being alone, which isn't like you, but I feel like you might want to be a little bit more alone to tap into some inner guidance and kind of get yourself straight as to where you're going and what you're doing with whatever this storm was, whatever this blossoming was. Because I feel like it did start in May and it kind of is going to continue into June. It's going to drag into June. And it's going to force you to, with the energy of the Two of Earth, where you need to manage your time and your priorities. There's going to be quite a bit of work that needs to be done, but what's important is you're focusing on what's important. Instead of what needs to be done, it has to be done. So that includes time for yourself. That includes giving yourself time to kind of look at this transition and understand what this transition means to you, what kind of experience it's giving you, so you can blossom and bloom. And again, with this page of air, it's adding another page to your book of experience. Be opening to learning new methods and ideas. So you're reading and you're converting that energy into something that's more experience instead of something that was holding you back. It's how you change your mindset. You're really connecting to this turtle energy here. This is something new. This is something exciting. And I feel like you really need to honor yourself in this time, because the growth begins with you and it depends on how you want to take it. whether you want to stop yourself or you want to go ahead. So let me pull up, just get another card here from the Universe Has Your Back as a final message. Let's see what the universe has for you. Don't be afraid of it. Just, you know what, it's easier. I understand it's easier said than done. I've gone through this. But you know what, at the end of the day, it's like once you start to face it and once you start to acknowledge it and understand it and make it part of your life. Oh my gosh. Okay. Look at this. The more energy and intention I bring to my faith, the more fearless and free I am. This is about trusting, okay? This is about trusting this whole thing. Being free. Lightening your heart so that energy can flow through you. Maybe start doing some sound baths or meditations for your heart chakra so it can release that energy and go down. It could even be really like it's a release between the heart and the sacral. So there's going to be heart, solar plexus, and sacral. So those three, in order for there to be more of a flow in between them, because I feel like you're going to need that sort of that energy, that power to continue on and go through it and make yourself who you want to be or who you used to be, but stronger. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know how this resonates for you. And I thank you for your time. Bye, guys. Hello, Pile 2. If you picked the Fluoride Heart, this is your reading. So, fluorite is a crystal for spiritual detox. It boosts mental clarity. It gives you peace of mind. And you notice that it's green and it's purple. So the green is for the heart chakra and the purple is for the crown. And it helps sweep stagnant energies, so anything like heartbreak, grief, and it helps you build towards a healthier change with the molding of these two energies. It looks like they're not supposed to be together. It looks like two separate things coming together, but it's supposed to be together. That's what makes fluorite. So it's mind and heart working together, where it doesn't usually happen. Usually they're not really understanding each other because one comes for more emotion and the other one comes more for facts. But it's meant to come together. So it's very interesting that I'm getting this from this crystal. So let's see what is coming in for June for Pile 2. So we have magic, extremes, okay. We have freedom, a lot of orange, remove that. Sigil number 18, okay. The golden egg, that's pretty intense there. Then we have the Five of Swords, the Nymph of Wands, and the Ace of Swords. Wow. So, man. So starting off, there's a lot of fire and there's a lot of air energy here. Very, very interesting. So let me start off with this magic card. So everyone has a different definition of what magic is, depending on who you speak to and how they work with it. So the main thing with it is a willingness to practice with purpose, to perfect it, to work with it so that it almost is more on working with you instead of against you, putting things together to create this ball of energy, or create it's almost like cooking. You put some ingredients together and something comes out of it that's good for you, or it's just good in general. It doesn't have to be good for you, but it's something that you're craving or you're wanting. Especially with this extremes card, I feel a lot of like, I want something really bad. So the thing is, it's interesting because sometimes people might think that magic is about deception. But in this case, I don't feel like there's deception. It's meant to more create wonder and curiosity, like spark some sort of interest for you to follow. And it's pretty intense spark, let me tell you. That is heat. That is heat there. Like I said, I see a lot of orange. So sacral chakra, absolutely. Fire energy. It's just boom in your face. And it's almost like you can't really go around it, because it's just, it's like it's unavoidable kind of thing. There's something forming from different elements. It's like a mix of intention and timing. And you're not sure how it will all work together, but you're willing to give it a shot. You're willing to give it a go, to alchemize something, to bring something into reality. So it's not just something that's in your heart, but it's something that you can see, so that way your brain can process it. And maybe that's this aspect of working together with this fluorite. Because your mind can't see what your heart does, and your heart can't see what the mind does, because they come from two different perspectives. But if they work together, they'll create something. They'll create something where it's half and half. This extremes card, is, it's taking the heat through the thick and thin of it. There's no plan, it's just go. Take it day by day. There's definitely some aspect of blood, sweat, tears. This is I can't help but see this is a very sexual card. So again, it's coming off as very sacral to me, very creative, very passionate, very like, there's a lot of heat coming from this reading. Blood, sweat, and tears. Be mindful of any sort of, also I'm getting here, back pain. I'm feeling it more upper back, but it could be lower back as well. And I encourage you to look into what the energetic or spiritual meaning of back pain is. Because, for example, lower back pain is an indication that you're not feeling supported. So if it's like middle, if it's the upper, if it's more on the left, more on the right. There's different aspects to back pain and what it could mean to somebody. So I encourage you to look into it if you're feeling it. That's just for some of you. I don't feel like it's for all of you, but it's for some of you. So if you experience any back pain, look into it so you can get a better idea of what you need, because your body will become like almost a very good indicator of what you need. That's very interesting. This golden egg is really catching my attention. So this is a golden opportunity to be part of something powerful and significant. There's a sense of wonder with this egg, what will it hatch? What will come from it? What will it look like? You know, you get a random egg, and it's just like, well, it looks like this kind of egg, but it might catch this, but it could be something else. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't really have a good sense of or knowledge about eggs, it's what will come of it. There's that sense of curiosity. So it depends on how you take care of it and what your intentions you put into this egg, because one day will be different from the other. You have to manage the temperature, for example. You have to turn it, or, you know, like, position it a certain way to get the right temperature, or have like something. I never really took care of eggs. All I know is you have to sort of, you know, move them over so that it's equal balancing of temperature. That's probably one of the most important things. So it's kind of like your life is with this energy, is every day is different, with a different expectation, with different sort of aspects to go into. Where do you have to move? How do you have to nurture it to kind of go about this whole situation? Because this whole thing is about creating this sense of freedom. And this sigil is about, it's really interesting. This sigil is about avoidance. Number 18. This is going to be hard to avoid. Wherever you turn away, there'll be something else that approaches you, that you have to deal with. It may not be in the aspect that you're supposed to. It's almost like you're going to something hard. It might be something easier, but then you still have to go through something harder. Or it could be something harder, but this could be easy. You know what I mean? It depends on how you look at it. And the thing is, like, no matter which way you go, you might go back and look at it. It's like, now try and deal with this. You're still going to have to end up dealing with that anyway. So it's just like, do you want to get it over with, or do you want to kind of take the easier route? Like I said, it depends on how you look at it. Because it's different for everyone. It's just like this magic card. It's how you see it. It's how you perceive it. And that's the whole thing about it, is it's creating this sense of freedom where you feel like you have no choice. It's actually, the true statement is, I create my day, my life. So instead of this being like, oh my God, I have to go through this and this and that, it's just like seeing it as a chore. It's just like, I'm creating something that will give me more freedom. Yes, it's work. Everything is work. Everything requires some sort of work. But in the end, your desire for freedom will be something that comes out and allows you to do more things because of the work that was done. You know what I mean? And with this Five of Swords, for this deck in particular, I feel like it's a very protective energy, very kind of standoffish. Those two swords on the ground there are about, they were already used, and then there you have 3 left for protection of your heart. I feel like you're protecting your heart a lot, because in this case, I feel like your heart is holding the intention and your head is almost processing this whole thing to make this intention a reality so it has a better understanding of it. So your head is the one that's protecting your heart, so it can have a better understanding of what's really going on in front of you. And this Nymph of Wands here, it's some sort of new project. Like I said, it's a new spark of creativity. It may not be much now, or you may not have as much right now, you know, like invested sort of investments into whatever this is. It's important to take the time to focus on what you're bringing in. So your surroundings are a support, like a supportive place for this new energy to be coming in. And again, with this Ace of Swords, it's new beginnings. Show up and face it. This is definitely a time of evolution. An opportunity to fast track something, because air feeds fire. It makes it bigger. It makes it stronger. It makes it faster. And that's what happens with the mind. The mind is associated with swords. So the more your mind gets in touch with your heart, what your heart is holding and why it's literally pulling you, the more it will support it and understand it. Come full circle. I really feel like this may be something that you're just like, what the heck is this? You'll be asking, like, why am I being pulled towards this? I don't understand. And it's and that's your mind, but your heart's just like, this is what we want. And you know this is what you want. So why not go for it? Why not do it? And your mind's like, well, this and this. It's like, no. Let's go. Let's go. And like I said, it's going to be hard to avoid. Maybe for now, maybe you'll try and avoid it, but it's, yeah. I recommend you just go with the flow for this one, because I don't think it's not going to make it any easier or any better. So the universe has your back. I'm going to be pulling just one more card for an affirmation for pile 2. Let's see what the universe has for you. It's time to play. Do something different today to shift your routine. It's definitely going to do some shifting of routine, that's for sure. Because it's something that, it's almost like you've never thought of that. You never thought to go that way. Or you never thought you would actually do something like that, you know what I mean? Oh, okay. There's 2 cards there that came out. I need just one, please. That one popped at me. Let me see. Just one. Okay. I'm getting like multiple cards coming out at me, so just one, please. Just one. There we go. So this one says, the moment I embrace my peace within and surrender, the outcome is the moment the universe can truly get to work. Get to work. Get to work. Okay. This is supposed to be it. And look at this orange. Look at this orange. You got pink and you have orange. Pink is heart. Orange is the sacral. Get to work. Look how big those words are. Get to work. It's time for you to get to work. All right, pile 2. All right, guys. If you enjoyed this reading, please like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment, and we'll be talking shortly. All right, thanks so much, guys. Take care. Bye. Hello, pile 3. If you chose this beautiful spirit quartz, you're in the right place. So let me just tell you about what spirit quartz is good for. So it's a crystal of harmony and alignment. It allows you to have deeper insight, concentration, awareness. It governs the solar plexus and the crown chakra. It helps you balance your yin yang, so your male, your divine male and your divine female energy. It's good for groups. It's good for bonding. It helps relieve stress, fear, anxiety, and it also helps with generational wounds, like clearing generational wounds. So let's see what the energy for June is for you. All right, so we have desert, growth, seems like polar opposites. Okay, and then we have divination. Okay. We have sigil 65. We have bliss. We have the bat. We have the Ace of Wands, Two of Pentacles, and the Nine of Wands. Okay, so let's talk about this pile 3. Okay, so the desert energy talks about solitary, being solitary. So there's a difference between being alone and feeling lonely. And I really feel like there needs to be development in being alone and having some alone time. It's about developing resilience and adapting to different circumstances. And that really goes well with this growth card. It really does, because it talks about taking action and process some growing pains to make the changes. So for example, the willow tree. In the explanation for this deck, the card, the description's really great, because they use the example of a willow tree. So it grows in sandy banks of highly shiftable and changeable rivers. So I know that this is a desert, but sand. And they first establish their roots, coiling around like rocks, whatever they can grab onto, and then they grow their trunks. And their trunks are very flexible. They're not rigid. So they're able to turn with the sun and withstand harsh winds. So this is talking about no matter how desolate something seems, no matter, it doesn't matter. It's even things like this, like a tree could grow in these sort of harsh environments where trees aren't known to really grow. And I kind of feel like you really need to see the opportunity. It doesn't seem like a very easy place to grow, because honestly, like the willow tree literally looks like a stick when it first starts growing, like a stick with like maybe like a branch and like a maybe a leaf. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like anything, but then it develops into this big, powerful, strong, flexible mass that can withstand so much. Even with shifts, even with, water coming in, water going out, waves, it's all these changes. It can still stay there and be rooted in this sort of environment. And I feel like that's what it's trying to tell you. Doesn't seem like much, but there's growth. I think that's what it's trying to say here. And the bat energy is about seeing in the dark. So it's about using and trusting your senses when things aren't very clear. It's about you thriving where others may fade. It could be the end of a chapter. It's about moving on and closing the door. Closing the door. It's about like just let it go. And it's almost like trying to find some sort of rooting, some sort of something to hold on to. But it's almost like if you're going to hold on to it, if you're going to grow, and you will grow, you're really going to have to find your rooting there. You're going to have to find some really deep rooting. Because I feel like what you might have isn't quite enough. And you need to stop seeing this as like barren. Because it's not barren. It only seems barren. But look, even in this picture, there's a tree there with birds. How the heck do you have a tree like that with birds in a desert? Something like that. You find your growth. Through thick or thin, you find it and you go with it. So, this sigil talks about enabling. And it kind of is bringing everything else together. So, from this I'm getting, you might be helping someone and they're acting, but it's not really about, you're not really helping this person, you're actually enabling that person. And enabling is preventing your own and others' expansion. It's natural to validate people, bring people, and it brings people closer together, and they might want to be around you a little bit more, but enabling is empowering others, but it's not for their best interest. Validating an idea that isn't in reality or fact. For example, allowing a child to stay home and call in sick because they didn't study for a test. So it's making excuses for someone treating someone terribly. And then you might be taking the blame and putting yourself at risk. It's almost like you need to build your own. It's almost like you lost your footing with this person or this energy, whatever it is. And it's time for you to kind of like create your own boundaries. Your own root system, your own canals, where it's just like, in this sort of energy, I don't feel very secure. People are starting to dislike me. And it's almost like I've been changing, but it's not who I am, and I don't feel good about what I do. And you might be in this sort of energy here. So this says, the trigger statement says, I'm so drained. And the truth statement is, I am shielded. You're finding balance as you see what resonates and what does not. With clear sight, you are safe and protected. And we have this one. Trigger statement. Why am I here? True statement. I make a difference. You will have the motivation you need to express your light. Know that you do what you do today makes the world a better place. You do what you feel is right. So you're not feeling in this like, what am I doing? Like, why am I here? What am I doing? I feel so drained every day. That's because when you feel drained every day, it means that you're not living in within your authenticity. This isn't you. Through the barren wasteland, you need to, it's almost like find your grounding again. And that's so important. And you'll know with this bad energy. You can see through it. And you gotta let it go. You gotta stop this. Because it's not helping you, and it's not helping the other person. Well, it's definitely not. It's almost like just maintaining bad behavior. And for what? For what? Why? Something to think about. With the Ace of Wands, so this energy here, this is about new inspiration, hard work. Sparrows are known for their productivity. They collect food, they nest for survival, and it's a constant job. They live to work. And it's a reminder that it takes hard work to get where you want to be. This growth isn't easy. Straight up, right now. Just like, I see the sparrow kind of tangled. It's almost like they got into a bit of a tangled mess, but they'll be able to figure out how to get out of it. And that I feel like you got tangled into something that you didn't mean to get tangled into. Because at first you were just helping out a buddy, you know, helping out a cause. But then you're discovering that, oh, is that really something I believe in? You know what I mean? And this Two of Pentacles, it's about balance. So life is uncertain, but harmony can be found. The two sparrows that are here represent simplicity, as they're perched on the bones of people, of others that have failed. This bird has the pin to a grenade. Pull it and see what happens. It will take you a different route. It's almost like there has to be an explosion. There has to be some sort of like ending. There has to be something to take a different route, take a different approach to it. And it's almost like if you just leave it there, someone else might find it and it'll explode. So it's almost like you have to like open the door and expose it and just be frank and honest about it. And the Nine of Wands, you know, it's exhausting. Like, I feel like this whole thing has been very exhausting for you because you're always trying to, like, you know, come up with somebody that's like, oh, well, I'm helping. But it's just like, but it's not a cause that really resonates for you. So you're always trying to find a way to, like bind yourself down and find some sort of way to, like, hold on. When there's other ways that you can hold on and not really have to deal with certain people or certain situations. Because maybe something is taken a turn where you didn't think it was going to take a turn. It's almost like you need to get back on track with people that you resonate with more. And I feel like with this card, with the Nine of Wands, your tools might be broken or abused, but they still work. They're still something that you can use in the future to rebuild and defend what you initially believed in. Something to think about. Okay, guys? I'm going to pull a card from the universe has your back to give you one final message from the universe. So 1 second here. Let's see what the universe has for you. It's just gonna get too much. You know what I mean? Like, it's like every day you're digging yourself into a bigger hole, and it's just like, why? Maybe you're trying to justify something that the leader is doing. Oh, there you go. Whoops. This is the one I want. So it says, thank you, universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear. Thank you for expanding my perceptions so that I can see what is of the highest good. Look at that. Perfect. I love it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Please like, subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know how this is resonating for you. And I wish you all the best. Have a great day, guys. Take care. Bye. Hello, Pile 4. if you chose the apophyllite crystal, you're in the right place. So, a little bit about this crystal. It activates the heart, third eye, and the crown chakra. It removes blockages, ensures that there's clarity, assists in channeling thoughts and feelings beyond our borders. It provides that sort of connection to our feelings and our thoughts. Makes our memory sharp, reduces stress. It's also known to help with allergies, asthma, release stagnant energy, giving it new roads to travel within our system. It's also good for developing clairvoyance, psychic visions, good for dreams, and also, most importantly, it's good for astral travel. So if that's something that you're into, this is a great crystal to use. All right, so let's see what kind of energies are coming towards you, pile 4. Okay, starting with magnesium. Oh, magnetism, sorry. Sorry about that. Magnetism, action. But there might be something there about the magnesium. It's for anyone who who needs to take maybe more magnesium. There's some sort of to check your magnesium. Maybe you need more in your diet. There's actually a lot of really great benefits to magnesium. So maybe that's something to look into, or maybe talk to your doctor about if you're thinking you might need more. Then we have the rabbit. We have eucalyptus. We have sigil number 31, and then we have Justice, Hierophant, and the Empress. Oh my gosh, guys. Some very, very intense energy here, because these are all major arcanas, meaning that it's something on the bigger scale, not just like an everyday thing. This is something huge. So let's talk about magnetism, but I read it as magnesium, but it's meant to be magnetism. So it's talking about attraction. So it's knowing your values, it's knowing your needs. I kind of feel like you're running away from it, or you're afraid of it. And I want you to maybe ask yourself the question is, what do you attract, or who do you attract? And is that your intent to attract something to yourself? But let's continue on with reading the energy, maybe to get kind of expanded a little bit more with the action card. So taking action, letting go of your burdens, getting out of this sort of paralysis step by step. There's 3 types of reactions when you're in a situation. You can fight, you can flight, or you can freeze. And I feel like this is kind of like when you're in that sort of reaction, when you need to be moving on and taking on new opportunities, like a new job or a new hobby or relationship. It's like, I feel like there's like this freezing sensation, and you remain stagnant because of it. And this is encouraging you to step forward and with leaps and bounds. And it's asking me to go on to the rabbit, because honestly, like, you're not meant to hide. You're not meant to hide. You're not meant to be in the shadows. You're meant to be in the light. And with this rabbit energy, it's really asking me to focus on this, because rabbit energy is talking about being frozen, being in the energy of fear. And there was a story in the book for this deck about a rabbit saying to everyone, is constantly reminding all the other rabbits that it's like, oh, one day that eagle's going to swoop down and kill me. He's going to eat me. He's going to gobble me up. And he said it so many times and loud, in fact, that the eagle took note of it and said, thank you for the idea. So it's almost like you're screwing yourself over, excuse my language, but it's almost like you keep saying it, it gets louder and louder and louder, and it's almost like it starts to affect your surroundings, and it's just like you make it true because you're creating this boundary around yourself, and it's just like you're squeezing yourself into this form where it's just like, okay, you say it louder, someone's gonna hear you and be like, hey, that's a really great idea. You know what I mean? It's like, well, that's what you want, that's what's gonna happen. So it's almost like watch what you say to yourself and watch what you think, because the universe is listening. It always listens, especially to our intentions. So if you're going to continue to think like, oh, I'm going to be eaten, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get eaten. So especially when you say it out loud. But, so, with this card, eucalyptus, by the way, is an amazing scent. It's really good for stress relief. One of my favorites. And it's talking about reset. The trigger statement is, I'm sick. The true statement is, I'm alive. It's time to embrace a new way of being, one filled with health and the freedom to create a new reality. The only way you're ever going to be able to proceed and get yourself out of this state of fear is by moving forward, taking that action, attracting what you want instead of living in this fear. Like I said, you don't want to be limiting yourself. And this is what the sigil is talking about. Number 31 is the sigil of limits. So not saying that limits are bad, because limits equal boundaries, but it's about respecting your limits, but not to the point of like a negative connotation to it, because there is a negative connotation to limits. So some of us take it as things are the way they are, and we just have to tolerate it because it is what it is. But it's almost like if we always lived in this sort of energy of tolerance, of lacking, we would never have invented things like planes. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, I want to fly. But what if that was constantly tolerated? We would never be able to have planes. We would never be able to travel. You know what I mean? Like, to a certain extent, we know our limits, but it's almost like, is it possible to kind of move it a little bit, expand slowly, see where it goes without being afraid. Even like mobile phones, you know what I mean? We use them all the time, but imagine someone never thought of that. It's like, why don't we have that with us all the time? You know what I mean? If there's a certain amount of acceptance that you can have, like, like if you have a broken leg, I wouldn't expect you to run a marathon. But there would be an expectance, you would be expected to, heal it, go through physiotherapy, whatever, to strengthen it. And then, who knows, maybe even do a marathon, right? With some training. But it's like just because this happened to you doesn't mean it limits you. It's almost like pushing the borders a little bit, you know what I mean? So what we resist will persist. So we are basically a mirror to what our world is like. So if you create a world of limitations, that's what's going to happen. So like when we're talking about boundaries with others, it's very important. So you're working with and acknowledging where we shine and where our shadow is. And it's kind of, it almost allows us to, understanding those two, it almost allows us to customize how, like when you get out of your limitations, when you get out of your borders, you are able to customize the light and the dark of that situation, which expands you a little bit more. You don't understand your limits a little bit more. You know what I mean? And it's almost like instead of shunning it, you're making it shine, these limitations. You're giving them their own life. You know what I mean? You're understanding them a little bit more and seeing, is there an actual limitation? Or can this be worked onto? Can this be worked through? That's what I want to say. So for example, another example that was given in the book for this deck was if you have abandonment issues, for example, you wouldn't want to be with someone who's constantly unavailable. In that case, it's a state of acceptance, and you work with what you have. The things that you need to work on, and that isn't a limitation. It's just a basis of understanding to help heal that aspect of yourself. So when someone is unavailable, you have the confidence to stand up and say, I don't appreciate that, I'm moving on, instead of, taking it. You know what I mean? It's very interesting. And that's what this is as well, it's reset. It's a new way of being. Because right now you're feeling limited because you're feeling sick. It's like there's this need to step out and feel more alive and explore a little bit more. You know what I mean? Instead of being in this like trapped day-to-day whatever. You know what I mean? And this is a major change right here. The Justice card, the Hierophant, and the Empress. Oh my God. Okay, so the Justice card is about weighing on a decision. It's about balance. It's about reconciliation. What are your motives versus what are your actions? Are they in balance? It's about seeing the truth and aligning with that sort of compass as to where you want to go and what you want to do. And the Hierophant keeps you grounded. It is a slow and steady pace. However, it is change. And it's about practicing and trusting that somebody, maybe you'll be looking out for like a teacher or a counselor or someone like in an organization to help you work through these boundaries that you have and understanding why. And you have to find someone who's balanced themselves, because when you find, and I feel like you're going to find someone who's balanced, because if this was reversed, it's about finding someone who is not balanced and is a bit of a radical, which isn't always a bad thing, but it's, if you really want to push things quite a bit. But I kind of feel like it's not that kind of a push like rebellion. I feel like it's more like it's a more balanced approach on how you want to go about it. And this Empress, I love the fact that she's here because she's about the divine feminine. She's about growth. She's about becoming more mature and reconnecting with yourself. It's almost like you're giving birth to something and you need to be proud of it. And it's a birth to your, like a new sense of self. Someone who understands their limits, but also can break through the limits that need to be broken through. You know what I mean? There has to be a balance. It can't always be, oh, I can't do this, I can't do this. But it keeps coming back to you, and it's like, are you ready now? Are you ready now? Are you ready? You know what I mean? Like, it keeps coming back. I kind of feel like there's like it just keeps coming back, and it's just like, what? Okay, maybe it's time to take this into account and see why it keeps coming back, because it keeps testing your limits, and it's time to kind of shed that and give birth to a new energy where it's a whole new sense of self. Is it going to take time? Yeah, it will take time with this Hierophant, but the most important thing is that you're exploring it instead of totally shutting it away from yourself. And I think that's the most beautiful part of it. So let me get a card from the Universe Has Your Back as a last bit of advice for pile 4. What kind of advice are we giving for pile 4 in their journey in June? Oh, there you go. There you go. Joy is the ultimate creator. Yes, absolutely. This is a great thing to say as we wrap up. Whatever makes you happy is something that you should be pursuing and getting rid of those boundaries, because it could become something so much more than what you've ever maybe thought of it becoming. If it's something that you're passionate about, if it's something that you want to give birth to and expand and grow and learn, it'll make you the ultimate creator of your own path, of your own destiny. But you have to understand, acknowledge, and heal any sort of boundaries or limitations within reason to move forward and become that ultimate creator, because you can. There's something that's coming in that's like electric. Everything here seems very fast to me. Rabbits are fast. Action. Magnetism. When two of those things attract, it's just like, they come together really quickly. And I feel like once these boundaries are down, it's going to be like just quick, very, very fast. It's almost like, you're one side of the magnet, there's another side of the magnet, and boom, it's going to come like that. That's amazing, guys. All right, thank you so much. If you like this reading, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I hope you guys have a great month. Take care. Bye.